Hello everyone, and welcome to History of the Ancient World. Today we're journeying back in time to an era of emperors, legions, and colossal arenas. But beyond the stone and steel of its empire, Rome was built on a foundation of faith, a vibrant pantheon of gods and goddesses who governed every aspect of daily life. From the sky above to the hearth within each home, these deities weren't just distant figures, they were active participants in the Roman world. So grab your toga and let's unravel the fascinating stories and immense power of the Roman gods. Our journey begins with the king of the gods himself, Jupiter, also known as Jove. Imagine the mightiest thunderclap, the flash of lightning across a stormy sky. That was the power of Jupiter. As the supreme ruler of the heavens and the earth, he was the Roman equivalent of the Greek god Zeus. He wielded his thunderbolt as a symbol of his authority, not just over nature, but over law and social order. Romans believed that oaths sworn in his name were absolutely sacred. Temples dedicated to Jupiter Optimus Maximus, meaning the best and greatest, stood prominently on the Capitoline Hill in Rome, a testament to his supreme importance. He was the protector of the state, and generals would pray to him for victory before battle. When they returned triumphant, they would lead a grand procession to his temple to give thanks. Jupiter wasn't just a distant sky god. He was the divine guardian of Roman power and identity, ensuring the stability and prosperity of the entire empire. By Jupiter's side ruled his queen and sister, the powerful goddess Juno. If Jupiter represented the power of the state, Juno was the matron of marriage, childbirth, and the family. She was the protector of women in all stages of life, and her role as the guardian of the Roman people, especially its women and children, was deeply revered. Roman women would pray to Juno Lucina for a safe delivery and to Juno Sospita for the well-being of their families. Her main festival, the Matronalia, was celebrated in March, where husbands would give gifts to their wives, honoring the sanctity of marriage and the role of women in society. But Juno was not always a gentle figure. Like her Greek counterpart Hera, she was known for her fierce jealousy and protective nature, often acting as a formidable force when she felt her domain or her honor was threatened. She was a complex deity, embodying both the nurturing and the fiercely protective aspects of womanhood and family. Now, let's venture from the heavens down to the sea, the domain of Neptune. As the brother of Jupiter and Pluto, Neptune was the undisputed master of the oceans, rivers, and springs. The Romans, while not as seafaring as the Greeks initially, grew to depend on the Mediterranean, which they called Mare Nostrum, or our sea. Neptune's favor was crucial for safe voyages, successful trade, and naval victories. Sailors would offer prayers and sacrifices to him before setting sail, hoping to appease his famously temperamental nature. A calm sea was a sign of his pleasure, while a violent storm was a terrifying display of his wrath. He was often depicted with his iconic trident, a three-pronged spear with which he could shake the earth and stir the waters. Beyond the sea, Neptune was also associated with horses and horse racing, a hugely popular spectacle in ancient Rome. His power was a constant reminder of the untamable forces of nature that surrounded and sustained the Roman world. From the depths of the sea, we now descend into the shadowy realm of the underworld, ruled by the third brother, Pluto. As the god of the dead, Pluto held dominion over the souls that had passed from the world of the living. His realm was a place few wished to visit, and his name was often spoken with hesitation and awe. Unlike his brothers, he rarely interfered in the affairs of mortals or gods on the surface world, preferring the quiet solitude of his subterranean kingdom. Pluto was also the god of wealth because precious metals and gems are mined from deep within the earth. So while he was feared as the lord of the dead, he was also seen as the source of hidden riches. His Greek equivalent is Hades, and like him, Pluto was often portrayed as a stern but just ruler, not an evil one. He ensured that the cycle of life and death remained in balance, a necessary if somber part of the cosmic order. Let's return to the bustling world of the living and meet a god who was at the very heart of Roman conflict, Mars. Originally an agricultural deity associated with spring and the fertility of the fields, Mars evolved into the formidable god of war. He was second only to Jupiter in importance, and Romans, who called themselves the children of Mars, held him in extremely high regard. He represented the military might that built and defended the empire. Soldiers prayed to him for courage and strength before battle, and the Campus Martius, or Field of Mars in Rome, was where the army trained. Unlike his more frenzied Greek counterpart Ares, the Roman Mars was seen as a more strategic and honorable warrior, a guardian who fought to secure peace. His symbols were the spear and the shield, and his sacred animals were the wolf and the woodpecker. For a civilization built on conquest, Mars was more than a god. He was the divine embodiment of Roman valor. Now for a goddess of wisdom, strategy, and crafts, Minerva. She was the Roman equivalent of the Greek goddess Athena, born fully grown and armored from the head of Jupiter. Minerva was the patroness of artisans, teachers, doctors, and most importantly, strategic warfare. While Mars represented the raw, chaotic force of battle, Minerva embodied the intellectual and tactical side of conflict. She was the goddess you would pray to for a clever plan, not just brute strength. Her influence extended into all areas of learning and creativity. Weavers, sculptors, and poets all looked to her for inspiration. The festival of Quincathrus was held in her honor, a time when students would pay their tutors, and artisans would showcase their work. Minerva's presence in the Roman Pantheon highlights the value they placed not just on military power, but on intellect, innovation, and the arts that define their culture. Next we encounter a deity who embodies beauty, love, and desire, the enchanting goddess Venus. Born from the sea foam, Venus was a figure of immense power, capable of captivating both mortals and gods. She was the mother of the Roman people through her son, the hero Aeneas, who, according to legend, survived the fall of Troy and traveled to Italy to found the Roman race. This lineage gave prominent Roman families, like that of Julius Caesar, a direct divine connection. Venus wasn't just about romantic love. She also represented prosperity and victory. Caesar even built a magnificent temple to Venus Genetrix, Venus the Mother, in his forum, honoring her as the ancestor of his family and the Roman state. Her influence was everywhere, from gardens where she was honored as a goddess of fertility to the political machinations of Rome's elite. In stark contrast to the passionate Venus, we have Vesta, the serene goddess of the hearth, home, and family. Vesta was one of the most beloved and important deities in Roman daily life. She represented the sacred fire that was the center of every Roman household, and on a larger scale, the eternal flame of the Roman state. In her temple in the Roman Forum, a sacred fire was kept burning at all times by her priestesses, the Vestal Virgins. These women, chosen in childhood, took a 30-year vow of chastity to serve the goddess and ensure the flame never went out. If it did, it was considered a terrifying omen, signaling disaster for Rome. Vesta had no grand statues or human-like depictions in her temple. The ever-burning fire was her sole embodiment. She was the quiet, constant, and unifying force that protected the very soul of Rome from within. Finally, we meet two crucial gods who were often seen together: Apollo and Diana, the divine twins. Apollo, much like his Greek counterpart, was a master of many domains: music, poetry, prophecy, medicine, and the sun. He was the god of order, harmony, and civilization. Romans sought his guidance through his oracles, particularly the famous one at Delphi. He could bring healing with his medical knowledge, but he could also bring plague with his deadly arrows. His temple in Rome was a center for art and culture, housing libraries and collections of fine art. His twin sister, Diana, was the goddess of the hunt, the wilderness, wild animals, and the moon. She was a fiercely independent deity, the protector of young girls and a guardian of childbirth. While Apollo represented the cultivated, civilized world, Diana roamed the untamed forests. Together, they represented a powerful balance, light and dark, civilization and wilderness, sun and moon, brother and sister, each ruling their own powerful domain. From Jupiter's thunder to Vesta's quiet flame, the Roman gods were woven into the very fabric of ancient life. They weren't just myths. They were a living system of belief that guided laws, fueled wars, inspired art, and gave meaning to the lives of millions. Understanding them is key to understanding the heart of the Roman Empire itself. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey. If you enjoyed this exploration, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more adventures into the history of the ancient world. See you next time.